people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them that I'm a highly paid television personality appearing on national TV, and that the tools of my trade are my surfboard, wetsuit, shorts, and thongs, and that I travel on business a good part of the year. Then they ask me, where can they send their resume? But you know, as exciting as it is traveling around the world on assignment for Surfer Magazine, sometimes it's just as much fun staying at home. This is Sonny Miller reporting live from Dana Point, California for Surfer Magazine. On this issue of Surfer Magazine, we're going to profile San Clemente, one of California's hottest surf towns. For Planet Surf, Dr. Scott talks about the hazards of storm drain pollution. Then we'll get a taste of some pure fun powder. On our surf report, we're off to Cabo San Lucas. All this and more on this week's Surfer Magazine.
Brought to you by Starburst Fruit Chews. Starburst to the juices loose. By Burton Snowboards, makers of high-performance snowboards, clothing, and snowboarding accessories. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
Now you don't have to wait for hot summer nights to catch killer surf action on TV. Surfer and Rhino Home Video bring you the Surfer Magazine video collection. 12 one-hour videos available at the cool price of $19.95 each. Order 3 today and we'll give you a 4th one free. Call now 1-800-854-4040. In California, 714-496-5922.
Why do so many men stick with Bic? I'm a big man. Because there's a Bic for every beard. Regular, sensitive, metal.
Yeah, I'm a big man.
I'm a big man. Cool, clear water. Clean ocean water.
Comes off the bottom here, snaps it off the top on the Bud Pro Surfing Tour. He drops down to the bottom of the wave, comes out on the open face, off the top there beautifully. He's board sending spray everywhere as he drops back into this wave one more time. He goes down to the bottom and now on the open face, this wave, look at it, starting to take shape on the inside. And what a ride here. He's stalling on the tail block. He's in the barrel. He's coming at it. He's right inside. He's coming.
Experience the power of the Bud Pro Surfing Tour, coming to a beach near you.
Over the past 5 years, more people switched to Glidden than any other paint. Now, if that isn't the ultimate test of quality, we don't know what is. Glidden, a better way to paint.
Every surf town has its own unique personality, often defined by a handful of locals. On this issue of Surfer, we decided to profile one of the many classic surf towns that make Southern California so famous. The hard part was deciding which one. Encinitas, Huntington, Malibu. We finally decided on the home of such famous surfers as Matt Archibald, the McNulty brothers, Dino Andino, the Fletchers, and Surfer's own publisher, Steve Pesman. Starburst, the juice is loose, presents Surftown, USA. San Clemente is a peaceful community of Spanish architecture bumped up against 5 miles of coastline. Most remember it as a site of the Western White House, where former President Richard Nixon would go to escape the pressures of office. But the heart and soul of San Clemente is more than its laid-back atmosphere. Here is a city with a rich tradition of surf energy. Whether it's famous names from California's early surfing history or hot new pros, you find it all right here. filmmaker Jeff New found so much surfing talent here that he filmed an entire surf video around San Clemente's locals.
San Clemente locals was actually easier to make than Journey to the Impact Zone because I was dealing with my own element here in San Clemente. You know, I had guys like Matt Archbold, Christian Fletcher, Dino Andino, Shane Beshen. There's a lot of talent coming out of San Clemente, and people go, well, Jeff, why'd you make San Clemente locals? What kind of title is that? And I say, well, look at where we're at. I mean, look at the people that are coming out of this area. People are realizing that San Clemente is a hotbed, much like Sydney. And I think we should have a contest, put all the San Clemente surfers up against the Sydney surfers and see who comes out ahead.
I grew up surfing San Clemente Pier probably most of all. I mean, I went through my phases where I'd hang out at Trussell's and hang out at T Street and hang out at Riviera and hang out at Lost Winds, but it seems like no matter what, I'd always end up down at San Clemente Pier. San Clemente is such a small town that, I mean, that's kind of all we have here, really. The ocean's it. The hills come right down to the ocean.
What makes a surf town? First, you need good waves and good surfers, nice weather, girls, surfboard shapers, and most importantly, a legacy of surf history. Surfer Magazine's Jeff Devine lives in the hills above San Clemente.
In the summertime, we have surf almost every day, you know, and the surf comes from storms generated off of mainland Mexico, the hurricane swells. We can be, you know, head high or overhead up here, and it can be flat or 2 feet down San Diego because the south swells kind of miss San Diego, and then they funnel. It's like a cup. It captures all the south swells up here. Everybody loves the southern hemis in San Clemente. We have a lot of the hardcore surfboard shapers live here, like Timmy Patterson and McElroy and Billy Stewart.
Surfboard shaper Bill Stewart has traveled and surfed all over the planet, but his favorite breaks are right here.
Most people that come to this town are amazed how nice it is, and it's clean, and it's really a wonderful place to be. So any surfer that comes to San Clemente usually enjoys themselves, and there's a California attitude of just total stoke on surfing in this whole town.
If everybody had an ocean across the U.S. of A, everybody be surfing like California. You see them wearing their baggies, or runchy sandals too, a bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA. Everybody's got surfing, surfing USA. Yo, everybody's got surfing, surfing USA.
When Jan and Dean wrote the popular 60s tune Surf City, they were referring to Huntington Beach, California. But today, San Clemente may be more deserving of this title. It's hard to find a part of San Clemente not influenced by the surfing culture.
Every time there seems to be a swell, it's hard to catch people at the office. I guess people have their priorities straight.
President Nixon didn't surf when he was in San Clemente, but one thing's for sure, it wouldn't have hurt his political career if he had.
It's bad enough when you have to surf with over 2 billion gallons of treated sewage in Southern California every day. But add to that raw human fecal waste discharged directly onto the beach by storm drains. Well, it's time to start taking action. This week on Surfer Magazine, we're going to check out the actions of a dedicated group of local surfers from Santa Monica and see how their accomplishments might be implemented elsewhere.
When a pipe breaks or a sewage pumping station backs up, the overflow goes into the storm drain system, which in turn will discharge the raw sewage directly onto the beach. Once raw human waste gets into the storm drains, it settles out to form sludge in the bottom of the pipes, which can continue to contaminate normal storm drain runoff for months to follow. Proof of raw human waste in the storm drains was provided by testing for enterococcus, fecal coliform, and enteric viruses at the Pico-Kenter storm drain in Santa Monica. Not only was the discharge found to be contaminated at levels well beyond human skin contact standards, but so was the adjacent surf zone as well. Upon learning of these findings, a group of local surfers decided they'd had enough and banded together to form the action group called Free Pacific. After several demonstrations and months of lobbying effort, they succeeded in getting the Pico-Kenter storm drain rerouted from the beach to the Hyperion sewage treatment facility.
It just goes to show that I think anybody or any group of people, if they're dedicated and believe in what they're doing, can make a difference. You can affect a change.
The solution developed by the Free Pacific organization is perhaps one that city planners should have arrived at years earlier. It's also a solution whose elegant simplicity lends itself to application in most coastal communities. The cost of diverting storm drains is no doubt significant, but well worth the value of an entire beach economy, and more important, the health of a young surfer. Think about it. On behalf of the Surfrider Foundation, I'm Dr. Scott Jenkins.
Honey, what are you doing?
Building a stadium. What does it look like?
Why? Do we need one?
You know how much I love sports. I never miss a game. Read the paper. But I need more. With this stadium, I'll get the whole story. Now stand back. I'm ready to blast.
Honey, wait. The guy on TV says you can get the inside story in the sporting news.
Guy on TV?
That's right, Joe. Only the Sporting News gives you an in-depth look at baseball, football, basketball, and hockey 52 weeks a year. You get analysis of who's hot, who's not, and why. Reports on every team, even off-season, plus these incredible stats. To top it all off, the Sporting News publishes super special issues all year long.
So I don't have to build a stadium?
No stadium, Joe. Just call toll-free to start your subscription at a terrific price. You can pay in 4 easy installments, even charge it.
Hey, this Sporting News really is something.
Of course it is, dear. Now, how are you going to clean this mess up?
No way, Joe. The Sporting News, more than just the score.
I'm Dan Patrick. Join us on SportsCenter at 11:30 Eastern Time as the Dodgers entrust their one-game lead with Oral Hershiser on the mound. Say hello and say goodbye to Andre Agassi. And the first cuts the deepest for a couple of NFL veterans like Dexter Manley.
Let's head north as the summer turns to winter and the waves turn to snow. The pro snowboard circuit can get to be a grind. Contests, rules, and crowds. So when the boys at Gotcha Clothing told us about another trip we had to go on, we moaned a little. Then they told us it was a trip to Mike Wigley's helicopter operation in British Columbia to work on a story for Snowboarder magazine. Most people pay thousands of dollars to chopper around the caribous and monashees. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. Now, standing here on top of the world with nothing but a few friends and thousands of feet of untracked powder. The grind we were whining about seems light years behind us. Maybe it's the sensation of floating weightless through the snow. Maybe it's the light powder or the huge cornices. Maybe it's knowing that there's not a snow fence, ski patroller, or merging trail within hundreds of miles. But whatever it is, you just feel like letting go and going for it. After all, there's nothing to get in your way but acre after acre of snow pillows. was really quite sure when it really happened, but it did. A transformation took place. No one cared what time it was or when we had to be back. Breakfast melted into lunch, lunch melted into dinner, and the only thing that really mattered was the drop. $40,000, $70,000, the vertical feet added up faster than we could keep track. But nobody was really counting anyway. All there was us and the snow, and that was enough. Some people seek expert medical advice for what we got, sitting in a doctor's office for hours on end. But for us, snowboarders, a little heli time is all the therapy we need. After a few days, all we cared about was getting one more lift. All that really mattered was having enough time for one more run. Don't go away, the surf report's up next.
Notice the primary color.
Devastating,
the piece
isn't it?
Has a brilliant negative capability. Over here, you'll notice, hanging upon the west wall, is the perfect blending of light. Of the artist.
Stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, Starburst with real fruit juice. Some men would rather live their lives sheltered in the harbor, and some would rather sail into life with the unmistakable scent of Old Spice. Clean, true, and classic. Old Spice, one of the legends of the sea.
Escape with me to exotic places. I'm Denise Austin, and join me weekdays on ESPN for Getting Fit.
Oye, ¿dónde está mi comida? Baja California is a barren peninsula 1,000 miles long. At its tip is the desert oasis of Cabo San Lucas. Many think of Cabo for its plush hotels and weekend getaways, but Herbie Fletcher, knowing that every summer the tip gets hammered by hurricane swells from mainland Mexico, created the Cabo Classic. Join us with Herbie and a cast of talent as we check out some of Cabo's hottest spots. Baja. Surfers love just saying the word, because to a surfer, Baja means adventure. Like a magnet, Baja draws them south across the border, into another world, a land right next door, as exotic as any place on Earth, where time slows to a crawl, and the traveler soon learns that despite its beauty, this is no place for the weak or faint-hearted. Still, there's a primal beauty among the awesome desperation, the magical contrast between the dry, scorched earth and a bountiful sea. And for those surfers who can endure its blessing, Baja is the sort of place where the more lost you get, the sooner you'll find yourself. While down for the Los Cabos Classic, some of California's hottest young performers took advantage of this opportunity to cut loose under the desert sky.
Sweet sanctuary of the wind, contrary to belief of man, this fire goes out to burn again.
Surfers like Matt Archibald, Kelly Slater, Nathan Fletcher, his brother Christian, and dad Herbie all migrated south for the season.
Mind perception in the body's need for breath, quick interpretation of the life.
1990 world champ Martin Potter made his first trip to the tip and showed what happens when the world's best surfer gets set free in a perfect, uncrowded point break. As usual, Potts hit it on one of the best days of the year. 6 foot, glassy, hollow with nobody out. You can bet Potts learned all he needs to know about surfing in Baja. Later at high tide, Dino and Dino showed up. Dino came south to get away from the pressures of a hard-fought U.S. championship. For a while, at least, no jerseys, no points, no horns, and no worries. Here in Baja, there's plenty of time for new sights and sensations. You can get as wild as you want. Or simply kick back and enjoy the view. Get in tune with the wind and the tide in a land where each trip up the coast can reveal a new spot. Go ahead, lose yourself among miles of untapped beaches with perfect tubes breaking along every one. Matt Archibald enjoying the view. Nathan out having fun. Vince de la Pena hangs out in the shade. And Dane Kiloha steps through the back door at a place they didn't even bother to name. Then there's a spot you get to name yourself, like Punta Derecho, where Hawaiians Kaipo Hakias, Ben and Akila Aipa join Kristen Fletcher and discover one of Baja's hollowest barrels at a session none of them would ever forget. No one had ever seen the waves this good, and they probably haven't been as good since. Surfers learn the first rule of surfing in Baja is that there are no rules. If you're lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time, you score. But even Baja's big-name breaks seem mellow. Out surfing in the cool of the afternoon, Kelly finds plenty of room to experiment with some of the moves he'll be springing on the world tour, showing the kind of creativity that comes from having absolutely nothing to do all day but surf. you're a surf-starved, out-of-school for the summer grommet like Nathan, or a 30-year veteran like cross-stepping dad Herbie, Baja's got plenty of room for everybody. Baja always draws surfers back, wave after wave, mile after dusty mile, time after time. A place where surfing dreams come true. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Now you don't have to wait for hot summer nights to catch killer surf action on TV. Surfer and Rhino Home Video bring you the Surfer Magazine Video Collection. 12 one-hour videos available at the cool price of $19.95 each. Order 3 today and we'll give you a 4th one free. Call now 1-800-854-4040. In California, 714-496-5922.
You wanna accent your weight to positive, eliminate the negative. Tune in to the affirmative, the family channel, yes indeed.
Nobody captures life on the positive side like the Family Channel.
You wanna accentuate the positive, the family channel, yes indeed.
Howard Johnson is the driving force behind the New York Mets. Ron Gant's home run power is driving the Braves to the top of the NL West. The Mets face the Braves on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball.
Brought to you by Morris Overseas Travel, Worldwide Surfing Adventures, and by the Rhino Home Video Surfer Magazine Series.
Have a passport, we'll travel. For Surfer Magazine, I'm Sonny Miller, and I'm out of here.